Welcome into Legal Access, brought to you by the McGuire Law Firm, here each and every Thursday at this time to answer your questions about the law. Today we're going to be talking about premises liability. That's just a term that means if you've been hurt on somebody else's property, what their liability is for your injuries. So we'll answer all your questions about premises liability throughout the course of the day today. And here on the panel to answer those questions, first of all, from the McGuire Law Firm is Ian McGuire.
Good to see you, Dave.
Also from the McGuire Law Firm, Brittany Jones.
Hey, Dave.
And before we get started today, I want to say congratulations from WMBF, as the McGuire Law Firm was voted as the best of the Grand Strand in recent viewer voting. So congratulations on that.
Well, thank you, and thank you to all the viewers and voters.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it.
Also on our panel here today, and we will hold off on questions for the first few minutes because we do have a special guest from the Myrtle Beach Community Kitchen. Sean Mazer is here with us today as well.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Great to have Sean back with us. Sean does such an outstanding job taking care of so many of people in need in our community. So Sean, I wanted to just thank you first of all for all you do, and take a few minutes to talk about the Community Kitchen. Why don't you just tell us what you do each day and how you feed so many people in need?
Simply put, it's to give anybody who's hungry a free, hot, nutritious meal, and to eliminate hunger in our community. We've been doing it for over 30 years now. I've had the pleasure of being there for 12 years, 6 years as a kitchen manager, last 6 years as the area director, and it's just a great thing to do. Haven't worked in 12 years.
And it really is phenomenal. The help that you provide. Go ahead. No, please.
Do you know how many people you guys are serving each
Right now
week
we're
or
serving about 385 people a day.
A day,
Yeah,
wow.
it ends up
And that's breakfast and lunch?
That's breakfast and lunch Monday through Friday. Last year we served over 90,000 in our general feeding program and an additional 133,000 in our children's program.
And where are you
So we're
located?
busy. We're at 1411 Mr. Joe White Avenue, just down the road from us.
And how do you get the food? Where does it all come from?
Most of the food comes from our local supermarkets around. We go around in a refrigerated truck. Anything that hits its best by date, they put it aside for us. We pick it up in our refrigerated truck, bring it back, weigh it, sort it, cook it, give it away, freeze it, whatever we might do. And
we've had the honor of having some of our staff and really, and the lawyers work and volunteer, and it's quite a project that you're running every day. What time do you get started in the morning, and how many volunteers do you have each day?
I get started at 4 in the morning. I get there 4 in the morning, turn on the ovens for my kitchen manager Lisa and my assistant kitchen manager Mark, and those ovens don't shut off until we close at 1 o'clock. So it takes quite a lot to put into it.
And each day, do you have volunteers that come?
Each shift we have 8 to 10 volunteers that come in, so we rely on our volunteers, 80 to 100 every single week.
Wow.
That come through. There's only 3 paid employees there. Other than that, we cannot do it without our volunteers.
So when you say you have 8 or 10 a day, does it switch up every day? You usually have 8 or 2 new?
It's 8 to 10 per shift, so there's could be 16 to 20 per day. And it does switch up. Sometimes we're a little bit short-staffed. We can always use volunteers, but we get through it and we get it done.
What I can tell you is if you want to volunteer, and we'll get into how you can do that in a minute, but and how you could, if you want to financially assist with it, we'll go through how to do that as well. But understand that if you do volunteer, they can teach you in about 10 minutes what to do and get you working, and you're going to feel really good about helping, and it's a fantastic group of people that are working there every day.
I mean, I've been there 12 years, and there's been people, our volunteers, been there longer than I have. So it's something that they love to do. They love to teach new people that come in how to do their volunteer spot. So there's, if you've never volunteered before, there's no, just come on in, we'll take care of you.
And now that we've gotten into the summer season, unfortunately, there's kids that are not getting their breakfast and lunch like they were getting in school, so there's a lot more need for help.
We more than double what we need to do during the summertime. We partner with 5 different organizations, and in addition to serving them snacks, we also do a hot meal for them throughout the summer also, for about 10 weeks. So.
Yeah, what's surprising to me was that everybody thinks, oh, it's the homeless population, which certainly there is a segment, but there are people that have jobs that just are not able to make ends meet, and they're out there working, and they're able to come and at least get one meal in the morning
Yeah.
before they go to work. And I know you serve, there's people with mental health issues, so you're serving a wide variety of
Yeah.
people throughout the community.
Only 15%, we figured it out once, and about 15% of the people that we serve are homeless. The other people that we serve are veterans, the working poor, seniors, like you're saying, people that might have a mental health challenge. But everybody's welcome to come in. We don't put any restrictions on it. We don't care who you are, what you've done, where you've been. If you're hungry, you come in and you get a meal.
That's awesome. And so if somebody, let's talk about if somebody wants to volunteer and help, what would they do to
The best way to
get started?
do that would be to go to our website, communitykitchenmb.org, and there is a volunteer application on there. You just fill that out. It comes to my email directly, and I contact you that day or the day afterwards, set up an interview, bring you in, tell you what we're all about, see where you'd be a good fit, and get you started.
And that's Community Kitchen.
communitykitchenmb.org.
Okay. And how about if you want to donate financially and assist in that way? Because I would imagine that's a big part of the project.
It's tough to keep the lights on sometimes. It
Yeah.
definitely is. But you can also go to our website, communitykitchenmb.org, and there's a PayPal link that you can click on and donate through there. Or you could swing by anytime Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock to 1 p.m. Come to our back door, ask for me, and we'd be more than happy to take any monetary donations or food donations that you may have. Or you could mail a check to us, P.O. Box 563, Myrtle Beach 29578.
As far as food donations are concerned, unfortunately, you can't take anything that's already been prepared.
Correct. Yeah. If it's prepared, we have to, because we are a USDA agency, we do receive USDA food. It's something that has to be made in a USDA certified facility or someplace that has the license to do that.
Yeah,
And I
well,
can say it's been a while since I volunteered there, but you don't actually have to have any cooking experience. You don't
Not
have
at
to
all.
be good at it, right?
No, not at
So
all.
don't let that.
Not at all. You're welcome
deter
back
anybody.
anytime.
Yeah.
yeah, and the thing about donating to, the community kitchen, there's a lot of great charities to donate to, but when you donate to the community kitchen, you really know that every dollar you're putting in is going directly to feeding the people in our community. And I know there's a lot of charities where there's a lot of money's going to this and that and outside influence and all that. But with the community kitchen, the money is literally going for food to feed those in need, right?
Yes,
So-
absolutely.
if you can do it, it's a wonderful organization, a wonderful place to donate. And having said that, I wanted to give a check from McGuire Law Firm
Thank
to
you so much,
and
Ian.
thank you
I appreciate it. Thank
for
you.
all you've done for the community and continue to do. And if we could ever help in any way, know that we're here. And,
Thank you. I know you're a champion of
we
the
thank
community,
you.
so I thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sean Mazer with Community Kitchen in Myrtle Beach. That's communitykitchenmb.org if you want to find out more. And Sean, keep up the great work. And I know that the community appreciates everything you do for everybody who needs it.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, thanks for being here today. Appreciate that. Coming up in just 1 second, what we're going to do is take your phone calls. Our topic here today is premises liability. If you've been hurt on somebody else's property and you want to know what you can do or what you can't do, or if you're a property owner and you want to know what to do to safeguard yourself against somebody hurting themselves on your property, today's the day to give us a call. Phone number, as always, is 843-848-8080. Call us today. We'll get those phone calls on in just a minute here on Legal Access, brought to you by the McGuire Law Firm. Welcome back. It's Legal Access, brought to you by the McGuire Law Firm. As we're talking about premises liability here today, it's just a fancy term for if you've been hurt on somebody else's property, slip and fall accidents and the like. If you have any questions about that, give us a call, 843-848-8080. Whether you're somebody who's been hurt or whether you're a property owner or manager and you want to know what you need to do in case somebody does get hurt on your property. Today is the day to answer those questions, or we'll get those questions answered for you. From the McGuire Law Firm, Ian McGuire and Brittany Jones here to answer your questions. In the third spot, which we did have earlier, I want to say thanks again to Sean Mazer from the Myrtle Beach Community Kitchen for being here with us and explain a little bit about what they do to help the community. Again, our phone lines are now open. The phone number is on your screen. Give us a call now. With a lot of rain that we've been having over the last several days, somebody might be walking into a store and the the floors are slick when they walk in because they got the tile floors and stuff like that. If they don't have a sign up and they don't have a mop, the mop and bucket to try to dry things up, and there's no rug, and you slip and fall when you walk into somebody's business, are they automatically at fault and automatically responsible for your injuries?
So no, they're not automatically responsible, but you listed a number of different things that maybe a business could have in place to make it safe or more safe. And so that's what really is going to be based on is there a dangerous condition that exists there that they knew or should have known about? And so if it's raining outside and it's wet and people are coming inside, arguably that's something that they should know about. They've got tile floors, they ought to know about if they get slippery. And so there are different things, like you mentioned, Dave, that they could have in place that would certainly make the premises more safe. And that's really the point of any kind of premises liability case is, we want to, especially for businesses, you're inviting people to your business, you are profiting off of the people that come there, then we want to encourage businesses to make their premises as safe as possible. And that might include things like rug or a sign or mop or what have you, different things.
And if I was a defense attorney, I'd say, well, if you know it's raining and you're coming inside, you have it's open and obvious that it's gonna be wet, and you have some duty to be careful. And so there's these type of cases. There's always a pushback where you might have an automobile case where someone slams into someone from behind. Nobody's arguing about liability. They're going to argue that the injuries were related or the injuries aren't as much as they're claiming. But in these cases, they're almost inevitably an issue about liability, and that's because the defense has these built-in arguments that, it's open and obvious, you got to watch where you're going, that kind of thing. But certainly it goes back to the reasonable standard, and I think Brittany hit it on the head, which said that if someone's making money off the public, they have a duty to keep the premises in a reasonably safe condition.
Now, if you have fallen or you've injured yourself on somebody else's property, you talked about, they might not be hostile towards you, but if you go to them and say, hey, listen, I hurt myself over here, and they're not really inviting as far as filling out an incident report or accident report, how do you proceed there if you're the person who's been hurt?
Yeah, and that does happen where people get a little hesitant once if you're talking about an incident report or things like that. But absolutely, as the person who's injured, certainly first thing you want to do is to make sure that you're getting the medical treatment that you need. So if you've fallen severely and need medical treatment right away, you want to make sure to get those things taken care of. Whether that's calling EMS, getting to a hospital, whatever it might be. But also there are things that you can do to further protect yourself as someone who's been injured. And it might be, you can certainly ask about filling out an incident report if someone is hesitant or they don't, maybe a lot of businesses don't have a procedure set for that, or they might not have a formal incident report in place as to how they handle that, but you can still document it as best as you can. Nowadays we've all got cell phones, they've got cameras on them. If there's something that caused you to fall, whether it's water, whether it's something to do with the floor not in good condition, certainly take a photo of those things so that you've got it documented, and also get people's names. A lot of times we hear, the manager said this is an area where people slip all the time. What was the manager's name? And a lot of times people don't have that. They think that person, is certainly going to tell the truth and is going to be there forever, and that's just not always the case. Not that they're not going to tell the truth, but that they're not there forever. Right. So it's good to get the names of the people as well.
Speaking of not being there forever, a lot of times if somebody falls or hurts themselves on somebody else's property, they'll go back and try to take a picture later on, and they'll find out that defect has now been fixed or changed. I mean, can you help it if somebody doesn't preserve the evidence, or?
Well, it's a really good idea to sit down as quickly as you can, or at least call as quickly as you can an attorney after you've been injured on the premises, because at that point there's a means for the attorney to protect or preserve the evidence by sending out documents or letters requesting that those then the defendant is going to be put in a position where that's going to come out that they didn't preserve the evidence. So it's going to be helpful to the
Right.
the injured person. You know, if there's some formal request to preserve the evidence and it needs to be preserved, and that's something, if you don't hire an attorney for 90 days and and it's not preserved, you might be out of luck as far as preserving that. So,
Definitely.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. A good idea to sit down with an attorney, and we always talk about these types of cases. It's a free consultation, so I always think it doesn't hurt to sit down with an attorney, talk to somebody, give a call, and see if you might have a case.
Speaking of giving a call, our phone lines are open if you have any kind of questions about premises liability. Today is the day to get those questions answered. Numbers on your screen, 843-848-8080. Now is the time of the year when people are starting heading out to the pools. It's very, very hot outside. If you've got a private pool in your own backyard, that's your premises. Are you responsible for making sure that that's safe for parents or kids from the neighborhood that might stop by to try to take advantage of your pool?
Sure, yeah. You know, if you've got a pool in your backyard, you want to make it safe for everybody, right? A lot of times, especially here, we have HOAs and they have rules, insurance companies have rules as far as putting up fences and things like that. But it's not just for their rules, it's also to protect your property and to protect yourself in case something were to happen. So.
And we always talk about the attractive nuisance. If there's a child that's able to get on your premises and would get injured in the pool, you might very well be liable, and you don't want that to happen. And more importantly, you don't want a child to be put in a dangerous position. So you want to think when you get a pool, what is the likelihood of a child, a neighbor coming on in the premises, and if there is a likelihood, then you want to take steps to protect the child.
Now, if somebody is trespassing on your property, generally speaking, they don't have the same protection as somebody who's been invited over, but for children, that's a whole different level of protection.
Yeah, exactly. Trespassers get very little, you know, you can't intentionally set traps for them or anything like that.
No Home Alone stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It's not Hansel and Gretel. You're not trying to trap the children.
right. Other than that, with adults, the adult trespassers has very little protection. It's much different for a child, however.
All right, we're going to run to a break here real quick, and when we get back, we would love to answer your questions about premises liability. The phone number's on your screen. Don't be shy. Give us a call. You've got only about 10 minutes left in the show. We don't want you to run out of time to give us a call and get on the air and get your question answered here today on Legal Access, brought to you by the McGuire Law Firm. Welcome back. It's Legal Access as we're talking about premises liability today, slip and fall accidents or other times where you might have been hurt on somebody else's property. If you think that you have a case, make sure and give us a call here today. Or if you want to find out if you do, 848-8080 is our phone number. And as Brittany mentioned earlier, consultations for this type of accident are usually free, especially with McGuire Law Firm. So don't hesitate to call a lawyer if you think that you have any kind of a case or you want to find out if you do. Now, it's your responsibility as a business owner to ensure your patrons' safety. Does the same...
The law says it's not actually they're to ensure safety, but
Okay.
they have a duty to keep the premises reasonably safe. I know it sounds like splitting hairs, but that's the law specifically says they're not insurer of someone's safety, and that's what we hear all the time. Oh, we're not the insurer of safety, but they do have a responsibility and a duty to keep the premises in a reasonably safe condition. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as safety from bad people, I mean, security around your place, I mean, do they need to put up cameras? Do they need to have somebody at the front door armed or, you know, to make sure that everybody within the premises is safe from bad doers, evildoers?
Yeah, I mean, the quick answer is not necessarily. Every case is different, but again, and you have to take reasonable steps. If you know that if you have reason to believe that there might be a danger, then you should take the necessary steps to keep the premises as safe as you can. So, you know, there's balancing tests. If you're in an area that's historically been dangerous, and if you're at a place close by that has a high crime rate, your responsibility is going to be higher. If you're a business that has a lot of assets, then it should be easier for you to provide the necessary safety than it might be to a small mom and pop. But even the small mom and pop should take reasonable steps. You mentioned cameras. I think cameras are a very cheap, easy, and excellent deterrent to crime. It doesn't 100% protect, but it's a great first step. So, because it's become quite an issue, crime, and the knee-jerk reaction is to blame the person committing the crime, but the innocent person that's going to an establishment deserves some kind of reasonable protection. Isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I know we've said reasonable like 100 times in the last minute and a half, but that really is what it comes down to, is what would be reasonable in this situation, what would be reasonable in this area, geographically, for the type of business that it is, what would be reasonable. You talked about different size businesses. It also depends on what type of business it is. Is it a place that's open at night, open late at night? Is it a place that's open during the day? Things like that. All those things are going to get taken into consideration when determining what is reasonable for this premises specifically. And so if like Ian said, if you know that you're in a high crime area, there are reports that get put out every year about the crime in different areas. And so if you know that that's where you're located, then the duty to you might be higher than somebody else that's located somewhere differently.
And we've done a lot of these over the years in our firm, and they're challenging. And but usually they're expert driven. Experts come in and say, look, this could have been avoided so easily if these 2 or 3 steps were taken, or this one step was taken. And when lives are lost or serious injuries occur that could be been easily prevented at a very low cost, we want to encourage businesses to do that, to take those steps.
Yeah.
Yep.
And again, it's these businesses are making money on inviting, having the public come in, and it's there is some level of responsibility for that business to know the area, to know the people that are around, and to take steps to prevent things happening.
You're walking down a sidewalk and you come across a piece of sidewalk that's been raised or broken because of a tree root, and you trip over that and hurt yourself. Who's responsible for that? Is it the city? Is it the property owner there in front of the business?
It could be. It depends, yeah. It's a very straightforward answer, but it could be, that property owner. That might be something that they knew or should have known about. How long had it been that way? What caused it to become that way? Who actually owns that property? You mentioned the city potentially.
Yeah.
It's going to really depend on a lot of different facts, but certainly that is something that a business could be responsible.
Is a jury in that case going to say, well, they should have just watched where they were going?
They do sometimes.
Sometimes they do, yeah.
And sometimes when they hear all the facts, they say, gosh, they knew about this for how long and they didn't do anything about it, or they created this danger. So it goes, that's why we have juries, and that's why our system is great, because you have that opportunity to get in front of a jury of your peers and find out.
It's not necessarily premises liability, but as far as personal injury is concerned, we have a lot of amusements around the Grand Strand here. If you go to an amusement that has some inherent danger and you sign a waiver that says, okay, I'm not going to sue you in case something happens to me, are your rights, did you just sign away your rights?
You didn't help. It makes it more difficult, honestly, if you sign a waiver in South Carolina, but it does not eliminate or you don't lose all your rights. If they're grossly negligent, you're still going to have a case. We've had a number of those over the years. So they really, I know a broken record, but they go by case by case with those kind of things. But if you sign a waiver, and usually to get on those rights, you got to sign a waiver, right? But it doesn't eliminate the responsibility to keep it reasonably safe.
So still come in and let an attorney look at it and see.
Absolutely. I tell you what, that's about all the time that we have here today. We appreciate you watching, and again, we want to thank Sean Mazer from the Community Kitchen for stopping by earlier here today. If you want more information about them, go online to communitykitchenmb.org and find out about the great organization that they are. Again, communitykitchenmb.org. And again, thanks for them for being here with us today, and thanks for them for being on the Grand Strand to help out those who need it. Thanks to our panel, Ian McGuire and Brittany Jones from the McGuire Law Firm. And again, congratulations on being noted as the best of the Grand Strand, according to viewers here of WMBF News. We'll be back next week and talk about wills, trust, and estates. Be with us next Thursday at 12:30 right here on Legal Access. I'm Dave Priest. We'll see you then. See you then.
You may wish to consult a lawyer to obtain case-specific legal advice. Information regarding lawyers can be located online or by contacting the South Carolina Bar Lawyer Referral Service, toll-free at 1-800-868-2284. If you are currently represented by an attorney, you should direct all legal questions to your attorney. The nature of any legal issue may depend on a multitude of factors. Therefore, the information provided in this program is purposefully broad and does not constitute legal advice. Please contact and retain an attorney in order to obtain case-specific legal advice.